So today I've got the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. This is the LS model, so this is their mid-tier model. So they've got one below this and then one above this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you around this car. Now this car is pretty much brand new. When I picked it up, it only had 24 kilometers on it, so pretty much one of the first people to drive it. So looking from the side view here, I reckon there's quite an attractive car there. It's got obviously the nice mag wheels on there, so I just show you these a bit closer here. Having a look there, actually 18-inch wheels there. Then what we'll do is we'll take you back around here. Now it's got that unique slope to it, and if you can coming back around here, you can see this bottom glass panel just around the brake lights here. So I'll move a bit closer. So, and just right there what I'm talking about. Now you can, when you're actually sitting in the car, it actually gives you a unique view because you can see sort of out the back of the top bit of the window and out the back of the rear bit there as well. So it gives you like a really more of a lower view there. Exhausts are all hidden there. You can see the rear sensors there as well, and they've got those sort of unique lights there. So just coming back around the side here, giving a look there of the side there. It's got some nice little lines running down the side there to give it a bit of shape and give it a bit of a different sort of a look there. And then we're going to move to the front here. So it's got the you obviously can't see that because I don't have the car on now, but it's got some daytime running lights which give it a bit of a unique look there. And then you've got the fog lights, quite big fog lights there. Front sensors on this one as well. And then you've got some sensors there. If you go up there, you can see the camera and that there for the collision assist and things like that. And then we'll just go back around here from the outside there. So I actually really like the look of this car. I reckon it's nice, it's sort of a nice compact looking car. And what you've also got as well is I like the color. This sort of color I really do like. So let's go and have a look in the inside of the car. So we'll just hop in the car. You can see the mirrors are folded there, so when you lock the car they automatically fold, which I think is a good thing. So you could actually touch exactly on the black dot here. If you touch around it, it won't open there, but you got to touch it there and then it'll open. The mirrors will fold out for you there. So let's have a look in here. So we'll just turn the car on here so you can have a look there. So you can see the little logo comes up there with a Eclipse Cross. There's also the Mitsubishi Motors, nice little graphics there. So having a look at the dash here, looking, as I said, pretty basic. The speed limit, you've got your fuel in the center there with your temperature, and then you've got your rev range there, and you've got the things, as you can see on the top there, the lane departure assist there. And as you can see, I've done a few kilometers since picking up, so now it's done about 207 kilometers there. So looking around the cabin here, now you've got the flappy paddles here. What I can say is that you get really tempted to use them. The first thing I did in here, all I want to do is grab hold of them. I know they're just in a funny spot where you just want to sort of use them or something like that. So they definitely stick out. They're not hidden in there. Then you've got the things like you've got your cruise control switches here as usual on the steering wheel. You've got your volume button here. There's also pick up, hang up the phone here. So you've got the traction control which you can turn off here, on and off. You've also got the lane departure system here on the right hand side, and you've also got on the far right the front collision assist there which you can turn on or off. And then you've got the parking sonars, which is just below that, which you can turn on and off there. So just going back to the center console dash there here. So you've got a few apps. You've got Apple CarPlay here, which is quite good. I think everyone knows how that sort of works these days. You plug it in and it gives you access to everything on your phone, or a certain amount of apps on your phone there. This has got a digital radio, as you can see. You've got obviously Bluetooth audio. What else have we got here? We've got USB connection. There's 2 USB connections this car's got. iPod connectivity, vehicle info, and then vehicle settings, and then vehicle settings in here. Have a look at just giving you the keyless operation system, wipers, lights, security alarm, and a whole bunch of other different settings there. So go back. What else have we got in here? We've got day or night view. Just turn the screen off. We've got your clock, location for GPS there. and then a tutorial of how to use the system there. So a few little features there. I like this sort of dash here. It really is similar to the Mazdas. It looks like they've taken it straight out of a Mazda actually, but I think it looks really neat and really attractive there. Having a look further into the cabin here, you've got climate control on this one. You've got your USB cords down there, as I mentioned before. A few areas where are missing here is, this is only the 2-wheel drive model, so I guess if you had the 4-wheel drive model, you'd have the 4-wheel drive button there. It's just a piece of empty plastic there now, and you might have, I guess, a few other options there with the 4-wheel drive there that aren't there, because this is one of the more basic models there. You've got the gear stick lever there. You've got a trackpad here for tracking. Just pressing around will track you around, just to go to different places with that. As I said, you can also, as you saw me before, just touching the screen will get you to different places there as well, so you don't have to use it, but it's there. Some shortcut buttons here as well, so app, audio, going back and back to the home screen there. It's got an electric handbrake here. It's got the auto hold system there for when you're in traffic and don't want to put your foot on the brake. The standard cup holders in there. And this one, as I said, it's a mid-tier version, so that it doesn't have leather seats. The seats are pretty comfortable. I wouldn't say sports seats, but they're sort of semi-sports seats and reasonably looking. So yeah, back around the cabin, you've got the start-stop button there, turn on the engine, so it's a keyless there. You've got a few little, if you want to change the trip computer settings here or the view there, you can just go to different views there of what you actually want to look at there. And then back around here, it's plastic, it's all plastic, but kind of doesn't feel too bad. Like, it doesn't look too cheap either, so I really don't mind the interior of this car. So okay, well let's go take you around the back of the car and see how much room is in it. So in the back now, and it does have a reasonable amount of space here. I'd say pretty much the same as most of the mid-size SUVs I've been in. It's got the rear seats on rails there, so you can actually, as some of these SUVs do have now, move the seat forward or back. Obviously, if you move it forward, it gives you more cargo space. If you move it back, less cargo space, but more legroom. I have it back completely now, so that's about as much legroom as you're going to get, but as I said, it's more than enough. The rear seats are quite comfortable here. Now, the only thing that's a bit weird is, when I sit back here, is this headrest. It kind of, I'm not that tall, but it feels like it's just way too low, so you'd want to push it up a lot higher than it currently is, otherwise it just sort of sits in your back there. Also, the middle seat doesn't seem too roomy. Like, I don't think you could comfortably fit 3 adults here, especially on a longer trip. So it would be more 4 comfortable, 5 you wouldn't want to be doing for a very long time. So you can just fold these headrests up a bit. All you have to do is push them up a bit and you can go up. So it's obviously going to be a bit more comfortable there than the fully down there. So these seats fold back here. You can just fold it back to give you more cargo space if you didn't need to use the back seats. You've got a 12-volt output down there to charge or plug any power devices in there. Besides that, there's really not much else there. You've got the middle armrest here with 2 cup holders there. And yeah, that's pretty much what's happening in the back here. Let's have a look at the boot space for you. So just checking out the boot space here. So just open up the boot here. So it's not the biggest boot in the world, but it'll hold a substantial amount, a bit smaller than, say, a mid-size SUV in there. You've got your cargo carrier there to hide the cargo in here. You don't have any 12-volt sockets in, which you normally find in most cars, but there's nothing in here. And you've just got the spare wheel there, which looks like a reasonable size as well. It's not too small there. Manual close you get with most of these mid-tier cars in this class, so we'll just manually close that. So just going to take a further look from the back here. Right. So let's get to the fun part, and let's get in here and start driving, and let's find out what it's actually like to drive. So So now we're inside the Eclipse driving it, and the first thing I got to say is when I picked it up from Eurocar, I was really excited when they said you've got the Mitsubishi Eclipse, because I was like, great, it's a car I haven't driven before, and it's been a while since I've got a car that I haven't driven before. So what do I think about it? Well, it's super smooth. I'd say I've been over speed humps. I've hit a few potholes accidentally today, and it just ridden those perfectly. So no issues at all with how it feels on the road. It feels really comfortable. That the engine, it's got a little 1.5 litre turbo engine in this. It never feels like it doesn't have enough power, but when you actually want to have some fun with it, like put your foot down and things like that, it just, nothing really happens. Even in sports mode, it sort of revs a bit, but you don't really get going that quickly. So it never felt underpowered. When I was sitting on the highway, it was sitting at under 2,000 revs at 110 kilometers an hour. But when if I wanted to accelerate any faster than that, it took some time. I'd sit in 7th gear and slowly make its way up there. So yeah, the engine, it could have a bit more performance, I'd say. One thing I really didn't like about this car is the handling. Now the handling in it, I went around a few roundabouts in it, and it just leant really too much into the roundabouts there. And I did try and push it through 1 or 2 corners, and then I felt really insecure in pushing it anymore. I just felt that the car just felt like it was wanting to take itself off the road. So it's definitely not the greatest handler, and it's only a small SUV. I know it's not a sports car, but you know, it is just a small SUV, and I've had a lot of SUVs that have handled a lot better than this. The fuel consumption, I'd say average. I've driven most of today on the highway. I've done just over 200 Ks on it, and now it's telling me I've got about 500 Ks till empty. So with a mix of city and highway, but mainly highway driving, I've gotten around 700 kilometers out of it. So not unbelievable, but not too poor either. The cabin, I took you around it before you saw it. I really don't mind the cabin, right? I think it's, for this car, the price it's at, I think the cabin looks great. I think that there's, you know, they've taken a few things off Mazda there with the center dashboard there. It looks very similar to a Mazda. It's still got some of the polished shiny bit, like on the steering wheel, which is traditional sort of Mitsubishi in the last, you know, 5 to 10 years. The steering wheel's got a nice feel, a nice size to it. The CVT gearbox, as I said, it's not not the greatest. It sort of seems to stick in the gear, even in sports. Yeah, the sound system in it, it's definitely better than the Outlander that I've driven before. It sounds a lot better, the sound system. I would say it's sort of mid-level compared to other SUVs, but definitely better than its big brother, the Outlander there. Vision around the car is really, really good. That's what I touched on before. You've got those 2 layers of glasses, which I'm stopped now, so I'll just show you what I'm talking about here. So I just take you around there. So show you there. You can see at the back there the 2 different glass pieces, which give you a sort of an interesting view, especially if you're not used to a car this kind of style. Yeah, so look, and I touched on technology before. It's got plenty of technology on it, more than enough, and you get a lot of bang for your buck in the technology department here. So what do I think of it? I guess I'm a bit crossed here. Like, I reckon the car looks really sexy from the outside. I really like the look of it from the outside. Driving it this morning, I really liked it. Felt on the highway, it felt like it had enough torque and enough power when you needed it. The handling, as I said, I don't like the handling. It sort of, you know, pulled me back on my thoughts on the car. You know, giving the car, putting my foot down a bit in the car later on in the day, I kind of felt it did actually lack the power there, which obviously marked it down in a few marks. So all in all, I would say it's not a bad car. It's not the best SUV I've driven before. But it's definitely not the worst SUV I've driven. So I think if you're in the market for a small SUV, you definitely should have a look at this, because it is a really nice car. For the money, you get a lot, and then the interior, as I said, it does look somewhat upmarket here. It doesn't look too plastic or too cheap inside it. It drives really nicely as well, and if you don't care about the power side of things and you're not going to be throwing around corners and that, this could be the car for you. It's a nice car. So yeah, thanks for watching today, and yeah, I'll see you next time.